Hey guys, hope you're all having a great day. So in today's video, I planted a few different plants in the ground that were all what I consider hospital plants. These came from a garden center that's not too far away from me. I've had a chance to visit them a couple of times, and I didn't know that they actually have a B grade section of plants. It's just basically a section in between two greenhouses where all the plants there are kind of sad looking. Maybe they didn't get watered properly. They have some dead branches, weeds growing in them, all that good stuff. So I took a look in that section, naturally, to see what they had, to see if there was any hidden gems in there. And I was able to find a couple of really cool things, as you may have seen in this video. So let's take a look at what shrubs I got and where they went. So the first section that I planted is right here in front of this Gym-born Beauty Hinoki Cypress. This only went in maybe about a month ago or so. I have a smoke bush here, and this is gonna come out, so don't even worry about that for right now. This plant is gonna get maybe like 6 feet out from the center in time. So I figured I can still plant these here for now, and then I can eventually move them, several years down in the line in the future. But on either side here is a My Monet Sunset Weigela, and then here is an Arizona Sun Gaillardia. These are an interesting plant that I don't actually think I've ever seen before. They're really cool plants because they are like a lighter chartreuse, limey kind of green color, so they're definitely brighter than other plants. And they do have some variegation. Now it's hard to see. There are some leaves that do have this variegation to it, but when I got these plants at the garden center, there was a lot of dead branches. They were full of weeds, so I think they were a little bit shaded by the weeds and also just unhealthy, so they don't have as much of that variegation, more of just the green. So I'm thinking next year when these come back, they're gonna have more of that color to them. So we will see. But I do know that later on in the season, towards September, they do get more of the orangey red tones inside all these leaves, especially on the edges. So I'm interested to see if these color up at all for this season. These two shrubs actually only get 18 inches tall and wide, so they're almost like a perennial than they are a shrub. They stay very, very small, and these are hardy in zones 5 through 8. Now in the center here, like I said, is an Arizona Sun Gaillardia. Again, same thing. You can see it probably had water stress, that's what I'm thinking, so it dropped all of its leaves on the bottom. It looks like there's 3 plugs that were in this pot, so I could always separate this in the future. There are a couple of flowers, like this one is just starting to open. This one also still has a couple more leaves to open. But you can see it's a beautiful yellow color that has like an orangey red. And what I really love about Gaillardia is the seed heads that are left over. You don't even really want to deadhead them. They honestly look just as beautiful as when the flowers are in bloom. Now, if you know me, I have a really hard time working with warmer tones, a lot of the like reds, oranges, yellows, that kind of stuff. So I figured I would kind of dedicate this bed to doing more of those warmer tones. I have a smoke bush in here, which is kind of that purple color, but it's more of a lighter, almost reddish purple. So I feel like you can kind of go either way with that smoke bush. And then I'm gonna be putting in some tree here. I'm not sure exactly what I wanna do, but I can always transition to a lighter color if the tree matches well with that. But I'm curious to see how these do. I think that these plants will match together pretty well. I also forgot to mention about this Arizona Sun Gaillardia. It only gets about 10 to 12 inches tall, maybe 12 to 16 inches wide. This one is hardy in zones 3 through 9, so pretty winter hardy. And I am hoping that it does look a little sad now, but just like any other hospital plant, next year when this comes back, I'm sure it'll be a lot more dense and full. We're just trying to have the roots set in on these plants, and then they'll grow back a lot better next season. So panning over from here, as you can see this bed, I've worked on it quite a bit in the last month or two. Starting to fill it up with lots of stuff. As you can see, the heuchera is starting to fill in. I've got some other stuff I just put in. But this right here is the incredible hydrangea that I planted. I already have one in the front, but again, this was in that section, so I got it for a really good price, and I figured there's plenty of life left in this shrub. It just needs to come back next year. So it'll root in for now, and then come back a lot thicker and fuller. It did have a flower on the top of that branch, but I figured so that way it's not expending any other energy, I'll cut that flower off. There is one left on here, and I'll just let it root in for now. The incredible hydrangea is hardy in zones 3 through 8 and generally gets about 4 to 5 feet tall and wide. This is a 6-foot fence, so it'll get probably about up to here-ish. So it'll kind of fill up this back area. And I'm thinking this is I think spilled wine Weigela. So it's spaced probably about 3 to 4 feet apart from here. So this will still continue to grow out. And I think this will kind of grow down, whereas the incredible hydrangea kind of grows more up and out. So I think it'll have a nice contrast between them in terms of leaf color with the nice flowers behind this. And then just the way that they naturally grow is kind of opposite. So I think those will make a nice layering. In fact, actually, if I walk onto this side, you can kind of see I have a sedum here. I have 2 Astra pink Oh no, this is an Astra pink. This is the Popstar pink, actually, balloon flowers. And then the Weigela. So just imagine a nice large hydrangea with those creamy white blooms that also become a little bit more green over time. That's gonna overshadow this plant. And they'll still give space from the hydrangea to this pine. I may eventually need to move this stuff in like 20 years from now until this gets very large, but we'll see how this does. So I'm excited to see this, and then I've got a 9 bark over there, so it's kind of like purple, green, and then back to purple, so lots of contrast. I also decided to put the hydrangea back where it was over here because this birch tree here, it's a large river birch that our neighbors have, as well as some of the other plants that are behind me. This is all south facing behind me, meaning that it does provide a little bit of shade and some privacy during the daytime. So I just wanted to only put a shrub that could tolerate a little bit more shade. It might mean that I get smaller flowers and a few less flowers than if I put it in full sun, but that's why I have another one in the front so I can really enjoy the show there. And this is a really great shrub that I happen to get on sale. But that's pretty much it for today. I just wanted to show you guys, I actually got all these plants for 60% off of what their normal price was. So I think it was like 50 bucks for all 4 of these, whereas some of these shrubs are like 50 bucks a piece. So it was a really great price to get all of this stuff at. And again, I just need to give them some tender loving care. In fact, I actually will pop a video on the side where I posted a reel on actually cleaning up these shrubs because they didn't look like this when I got them from the garden center. That is kind of a big asterisk that I should say. I did take some time to really clean all of them up, get all the weeds out, and then I just ended up planting them in this video. So they're looking a whole heck of a lot better than when I first saw them at the garden center. They'll root in for this season, and then next season when they do flush out, they're gonna grow a lot. So that's pretty much all I have for you in this video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to put them in the comment section down below. Besides that, I hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.